Freshman year of high school. Time for a fresh start.
Hey, you're joining theater, right?
Uh, no?
That wasn't a question, stupid.
Tarzan.
Yay!
Yippee!
Hallelujah. Oh. Hallelujah! For more painful in years! Nice. Yeah, I'm a theater kid. Now, I won't say that I'm a huge theater nerd, but I still do love being a part of productions. Not surprisingly, I got a callback for that amazing audition. The callback was for Young Tarzan and Young Turk, and for a first year theater kid, that was pretty impressive for my school. Also, the fact that I was male and short enough to play a child definitely helped. During my callback, I met this amazingly talented girl, we'll call her Charlie. Charlie and I were the only ones in the callback, and if I'm doing the math correctly, we were two people in a callback for two roles. Carry the seven. That basically means I've got the part! Congratulations! However, even if you get called back, you still have a chance of not getting in the show. The day finally came for us to receive phone calls telling us whether we made it in or not. Many hours had passed since they said they were going to start calls, and I said to my sister, I don't think I made it in. And no joke, the second I finished that sentence, my phone rang. I was going to play the role of young Turk. Woohoo! When I got to the read through, for those non theater kids, a read through is where you read the script and find out what roles everyone received. I found out that Charlie had received the role of young Tarzan, which is a boy role, and older Tarzan was a boy named, let's say, Thomas. So Tarzan essentially changed genders when growing up. I thought that was pretty funny, until I found out who older Turk was. Turk went from a really short, white freshman boy into a shorter, black senior girl. Man, Turk had one interesting puberty. Despite all that, I still had a blast hanging out with older Turk. Although young Turk wasn't in much of the musical, I still had my own song called Who Better Than Me? The premise of the song was young Tarzan is a wimp, so young Turk tells him to stop being a wimp, and they become friends. Because this was my first show, I still sucked at, acting. But it was okay, because each performance showed I improved just a little bit more. One of the worst things about theater is having to wear makeup on stage so you don't look like a ghost. Now, for those who have never worn makeup before, here's some advice. Don't. You may think that it makes you look pretty, but really it's just an inconvenience. Plus, knowing my subscribers, you're beautiful just the way you are. Wink. My original makeup for the show was white dots and lines on my face, which eventually turned into blue dots and lines on my face and limbs. Some people had to wear wigs for the show, Thomas, whereas I was lucky. For my hair, they just made it stick straight up. Now, this next topic is kind of a sketchy topic costumes. The costume department is a crucial part of any good show. However, the people who make the costumes choose whether or not you enter the stage naked, so you definitely don't want to be on their bad side. And if any of the costumers from Tarzan are watching, I'm sorry. The costume the apes had were kind of like a black crop top jacket and a skirt with ripped up t-shirts to represent fur. The apes who were crucial to story plot lines would have different colors, like Turk had blue. So that part was fine, I guess, but the worst part of my costume was the leotard. Here, let me specify. The woman's leotard. The problem with the woman's leotard is it didn't leave much room below the belt. Ugh. One of my favorite parts of Tarzan were the vines that Set created. Throughout the show, 3 green ropes would fly in for scene enhancement, my song included. We had a workshop for learning how to climb the vines and get a feeling for them. And not to brag, but I was by far the best one at it. Probably because I weighed like 20 pounds, but that's besides the point. In fact, I got so good at the vines that I actually ended up pulling off Tarzan's signature move. You know, the one where it swings from vine to vine? I had to jump off a vine, like mid-air, to leap and grab the other one. It was pretty epic. Our choreographer, the dance teacher, decided she wanted Charlie and I to leave the stage using the vines. A girl named, Grace had the idea that I could jump off her back and grab the vine, but the plan didn't execute very well. Eventually, we just decided to have the ensemble, the background dancers, hold the ropes for us. One time, when I leaped to grab it, I completely missed and essentially face planted on the stage. My choreographer was really worried that I wouldn't be able to perform because I was hurt, which was pretty funny because the second after I fell, I immediately got up and just laughed at how stupid I had just looked. And after all the shenanigans, it was time to open. I remember my heart was beating 1,000 beats a second before I went out on stage. I was thinking, what if I voice crack? What if I trip? What if I die? What if I forget a line? What if I say the wrong line? The time had come. I was about to make my debut, and it was fun. I don't know what I was so worried about until the mango dropped at the wrong time. For context, the whole reason baby Tarzan is a wimp is because he can't get a fruit until Turk has the genius idea to make a fruit picker. So when the mango fell, Charlie and I just kind of looked at each other and then pretended nothing happened. But besides the mango dropping, the shows were all smooth sailing until closing night. So before the show started, I had a strange interaction between a mic kid we'll call Sam. Now, before going side stage, Sam ran over to me and said, "Hey, let me check your microphone," which was already a hassle because it was under my leotard. So I eventually got my mic out and showed it to him, and he said, "Oh no." And then he just booked it down the hall. So something was up, but he didn't tell me before he ran away. Normally I would have chased after him, but the show was about to start, so I didn't have time to. I went side stage and hoped for the best case scenario. He would come back with a fix to my problem. Nope, he never came back. So I asked Older Turk to check my mic pack. She said it was on. Phew! Crisis averted. I go on stage and I say my line. Don't worry about it, kid. It was quiet. My microphone wasn't on! So I did what any sane person would do in that situation. Internally scream before performing a song into a 400 fitting auditorium. Who better than me to teach you? Who better than me to set you on your way? Somehow, I managed to pull it off for the entire song because the wonderful people working sound turned Charlie's mic and the music down. Thanks, guys. Mwah. I remember the second I got off stage, everyone told me, "We're so sorry," and "Awesome, dude." But I'll never forget what my music director told me. That was one of the best recoveries I have ever seen. And that was the story of my first theatrical debut. Thank you for watching my video. You are a lovely person, and I hope you have a good day. Or don't. It's up to you. Bye-bye.